Here is your speech on the title Focus on Your Life and Stay Silent. Inspired by the calm, reflective and wisdom-based style you requested, my brothers and sisters, today, the world is louder than ever. We live in an age where every thought is tweeted, every opinion is posted, and every moment is broadcasted. People speak before they think and respond before they reflect. The noise is constant external noise and, even worse, internal noise. And in the midst of all this, we have forgotten the sacred value of silence. Silence is not just the absence of speech. It is a space for the soul to breathe. It is where reflection begins. It is where clarity is found. When the world around you is shouting, silence becomes a form of worship. It becomes a form of strength. It becomes a protection. Not everything demands your voice. Not every opinion needs a reply. Not every injustice must be answered with noise. There is wisdom in knowing that some responses are better delivered through patience, prayer, and quiet resilience. We were not created to chase every echo or comment. Sometimes the most powerful presence in the room is the one who says nothing at all. Look at nature. The sky doesn't shout to be noticed. The ocean doesn't make announcements. The sun rises every day in silence, and yet everything depends on it. There is dignity in quietness, there is grace in restraint, and there is peace in not having to constantly explain yourself. You will notice, the more you grow in wisdom, the less you feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. You begin to realize that speaking all the time doesn't make you heard, and being loud doesn't make you right. In fact, the more you speak, the more you expose your thoughts, your heart, and even your weaknesses. But silence is reserved for the strong. It is the armor of the wise. It is the shield of those who trust in their Lord, not in people's opinions. And when you are silent in a noisy world, something beautiful happens. You begin to hear what really matters. The sound of your soul calling out, the whisper of truth that gets drowned in the chaos, the quiet reminders from your Creator. But you will only hear them if you step back from the noise. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the most overlooked realities in life is that true growth doesn't happen by accident. It doesn't come from simply wishing for change or admiring the success of others. It comes from deep, intentional focus. It comes from choosing to turn inward when the world is constantly pulling you outward. You see, many people want to change. They want to improve. They want to become better. But they spend their days watching others instead of working on themselves. Scrolling through lives that are not theirs, commenting on journeys they do not understand, comparing their lowest moments to someone else's highlights. And in doing so, they become distracted, and distraction is the silent destroyer of growth. You cannot heal while constantly watching who is ahead of you. You cannot improve your character while you're consumed by other people's flaws. You cannot build your life when you're more interested in someone else's. And the truth is, most of what we are distracted by will not matter in the long run. It will not help us on the day we stand alone before our Creator. It will not add value to our souls. Inner growth requires stillness, and stillness requires focus. It means turning off the noise. It means pulling back from the crowd. It means asking difficult questions in the quiet of the night. Who am I becoming? What is my relationship with my Creator? Am I improving as a person? Am I kind when no one is watching? Am I growing in patience, in gratitude, in sincerity? These are the questions that lead to transformation, not the ones we ask while scrolling endlessly or comparing aimlessly. And make no mistake, growth is uncomfortable. It demands discipline. It requires that you look at your own shortcomings instead of pointing at the faults of others. It calls you to accountability, but the result of that focus is something the distracted heart will never taste: peace, clarity, and purpose. When you focus, your prayers improve, your intentions become purer, your days become more meaningful, even your silence becomes heavier with presence. But that kind of focus can only come when you pull yourself away from what doesn't serve your soul. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the greatest traps in life is the need to be understood by everyone, the desire to explain yourself, to justify your choices, to convince people of your sincerity, your intentions, your journey. But let me tell you something very clearly. People will talk. Let them. They talked about the best of creation. They misunderstood him, slandered him, mocked him, called him names, doubted his character, and he was the most honest, the most pure, the most beloved to his Creator. So who are we to think that we will live without criticism, without judgment, without whispers behind our backs? People will talk when you're doing well, and they will talk when you're struggling. They will talk when you change, and they will talk when you stay the same. They will question your silence, and they will question your words. They will say you're too religious, or not religious enough. Too ambitious, or not ambitious enough. Too private, too public, too serious, too soft, too bold, too quiet. And if you chase their approval, you will never rest. You will live your life on a stage, performing for people who don't even care about the condition of your soul. But when your heart is sincere, when your intentions are clear, when your connection with your Creator is your anchor, then what people say begins to lose its power. Their words may sting, but they won't destroy you. Their opinions may echo, but they won't direct you. Because you've come to understand a deeper truth. What matters most is not what they say about you. It's what your Lord knows of you. Let them talk. If they assume the worst of you, leave it to the one who knows the truth. If they twist your actions, let them. You are not responsible for how people choose to interpret your life. You are only responsible for what you carry in your heart, what you speak with your tongue, and how you conduct yourself when no one is watching. Let your character respond where your voice remains silent. Let your growth speak for itself. Let your patience answer on your behalf. Sometimes the loudest reply is no reply at all. And remember, every moment you spend explaining yourself to someone who doesn't truly care is a moment taken away from building yourself, from healing, from growing, from praying, from becoming. There are people who will misunderstand you no matter how clear you try to be, and there are others who will understand you without you having to say a single word. My dear brothers and sisters, one of the greatest traps in life is the need to be understood by everyone, the desire to explain yourself, to justify your choices, to convince people of your sincerity, your intentions, your journey. But let me tell you something very clearly. People will talk. Let them. They talked about the best of creation. They misunderstood him, slandered him, mocked him, called him names, doubted his character. And he was the most honest, the most pure, the most beloved to his Creator. So who are we to think that we will live without criticism, without judgment, without whispers behind our backs? People will talk when you're doing well, and they will talk when you're struggling. They will talk when you change, and they will talk when you stay the same. They will question your silence, and they will question your words. They will say you're too religious, or not religious enough. Too ambitious, or not ambitious enough. Too private, too public, too serious, too soft, too bold, too quiet. And if you chase their approval, you will never rest. You will live your life on a stage, performing for people who don't even care about the condition of your soul. But when your heart is sincere, when your intentions are clear, when your connection with your Creator is your anchor, then what people say begins to lose its power. Their words may sting, but they won't destroy you. Their opinions may echo, but they won't direct you. Because you've come to understand a deeper truth. What matters most is not what they say about you. It's what your Lord knows of you. Let them talk. If they assume the worst of you, leave it to the one who knows the truth. If they twist your actions, let them. You are not responsible for how people choose to interpret your life. You are only responsible for what you carry in your heart, what you speak with your tongue, and how you conduct yourself when no one is watching. Let your character respond where your voice remains silent. Let your growth speak for itself. Let your patience answer on your behalf. Sometimes the loudest reply is no reply at all. And remember, every moment you spend explaining yourself to someone who doesn't truly care is a moment taken away from building yourself, from healing, from growing, from praying, from becoming. There are people who will misunderstand you no matter how clear you try to be, and there are others who will understand you without you having to say a single word. My dear brothers and sisters, there is a kind of peace that money cannot buy, attention cannot provide, and popularity cannot sustain. It is the peace that comes from guarding what enters your heart, what consumes your mind, and what drains your soul. That peace, your real peace, lies in protecting your energy. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not every situation requires your reaction. Not every conversation needs your presence. You must learn to guard your energy the way you guard something precious, because that's exactly what it is. When you allow just anyone to enter your space, to speak into your mind, to disturb your silence, you slowly lose yourself. And when you lose yourself, you lose your direction, your calm, your closeness to your Creator. Protecting your energy means knowing when to walk away. It means stepping back from arguments that go nowhere. It means refusing to entertain gossip, negativity, or unnecessary drama. Not because you think you're better, but because you value your peace more than pointless noise. There are people who will constantly pull you into their chaos. And if you're not careful, you will begin to carry their storms in your own soul. And then you wonder why your prayers feel heavy, why your thoughts are scattered, why your heart is restless. My brothers and sisters, protecting your energy is an act of spiritual discipline. It means surrounding yourself with people who remind you of your purpose, not distract you from it. It means choosing environments that nourish your heart, not environments that darken it. It means being intentional with your time, your conversations, and even your silence. Sometimes you have to close the door, not out of anger, but out of wisdom. You have to distance yourself, not out of pride, but out of self-respect. And when people question your silence, your withdrawal, your boundaries, let them. You are not here to explain why you've chosen peace over pressure, serenity over noise, or stillness over chaos. You are here to live in a way that pleases the one who gave you your soul to begin with. And know this, peace is not found in isolation alone. It's found in being present with what matters. It's found in choosing conversations that uplift rather than drain. In seeking environments that remind you of the divine rather than distract you from him. In keeping your heart light, your mind clear, and your intentions sincere. There is strength in protecting your energy, not because you are hard, but because you are soft. And that softness, that calmness, that inner stillness needs to be guarded from a world that will take and take until you are left empty. My dear brothers and sisters, there is something deeply powerful about silence. It is not just the absence of words, it is the presence of calm. It is where healing begins, where truth rises, and where the soul finds space to breathe. In silence, you come face to face with yourself. You begin to feel what you've been ignoring, to acknowledge what you've been avoiding, and to process what you've been carrying. That is why silence heals. You see, the heart is like a mirror, easily disturbed, easily clouded. Constant talking, constant reacting, constant engagement. It keeps that mirror foggy. But silence allows it to settle. Silence allows the dust to clear. It gives your inner world a chance to realign. Sometimes what you need is not more conversations, but more quiet moments with your thoughts, more whispers to your Creator, more tears shed in private, and more stillness where healing can take root. And on the other hand, speech reveals. When you speak, you expose what's inside. You reveal your thoughts, your intentions, your emotions. This is why wise people weigh their words. They know that the tongue can betray the heart, that what slips from the mouth often reflects what's unresolved inside. A word spoken in anger can ruin relationships. A careless comment can plant doubt. A boastful statement can expose arrogance. A lie, even small, can reflect deeper insecurity or fear. Sometimes we talk to fill silence, but we end up revealing pain. Sometimes we speak to defend ourselves, but we expose our restlessness. And sometimes, in trying to prove a point, we uncover just how far we still are from peace. So the wise person chooses silence not always, but often, not because they have nothing to say, but because they understand not everything needs to be said. Not every truth needs to be broadcasted, not every thought needs to be shared, and not every emotion needs an audience. Silence becomes a place of maturity, of depth, of discipline. And this is not about being quiet out of fear. No, it's about being quiet out of awareness. It's about choosing your words the way a skilled craftsman chooses his tools deliberately, gently, with precision. Because words can build or they can break, they can lift someone or they can crush, they can honor or they can expose. When you are silent, you are able to listen, not just to others but to yourself, to the whispers of your conscience, to the pull of your soul, to the quiet nudges from your Lord. And in that space, you begin to see things clearly. You begin to understand what truly matters. You begin to heal not just from what others did to you, but from what you allowed to fester inside. My dear brothers and sisters, we are living in an age of visibility, an age where every step, every thought, every decision, no matter how small, is broadcast for the world to see. We've been conditioned to believe that if something isn't shared, it doesn't count. That if no one sees your progress, it isn't real. That unless people clap for your growth, your efforts aren't valuable. But the truth is, some of the most meaningful progress you'll ever make will happen in private. Quietly, silently, away from screens, away from attention, away from validation. The world doesn't need to know your every move because your journey is not a performance. Your healing is not a public event. Your sincerity is not for display. There is strength in privacy. There is protection in it, because the more you expose your life, the more you invite voices that were never meant to shape your path. Not everyone watching wants the best for you. Not everyone commenting understands the full picture. And not every stage is safe for the soul. Sometimes we overshare because we crave approval. We want people to see how far we've come, how much we've changed, how hard we're trying. But you must understand, what is done for people will fade with people. What is done for your Lord will remain, even when no one sees it. When you move in silence, your intentions stay pure. You are not chasing applause. You are seeking the pleasure of the one who sees everything. When you fast and no one knows, when you pray in the middle of the night and not a soul is aware, when you forgive someone quietly, speak kindly without an audience, give charity without announcement, these are the moments that carry the most weight in the sight of your Creator. You don't need to prove your goodness online. You don't need to post every act of worship. You don't need to declare every plan. Some things are safer when kept between you and the one who gave you those abilities, those goals, those blessings. Your peace will increase when your need for attention decreases, because with less exposure comes less interference. With less noise comes more focus. With less sharing comes more sincerity. And know this, real power lies in quiet progress. While others are busy showcasing, you're quietly building. While the world is clapping for what they see, your Lord is preparing rewards for what they don't. And what He gives in private is worth more than what the world could ever offer in public. My dear brothers and sisters, there comes a point in your journey where you must decide, who are you living for? Whose approval truly matters to you? Is it the applause of the people or the pleasure of your Creator? Because you cannot chase both. The crowd will always demand something from you. They will praise you one day and question you the next. Their opinions shift like the wind. Today you're admired, tomorrow you're forgotten. Today they celebrate you, tomorrow they criticize what they once loved. And if you build your worth on their words, you will be broken by their silence. But your Creator, He never changes. His knowledge of you is perfect. His justice is flawless, His mercy is unmatched. He sees your heart when others see only your appearance. He knows your efforts even when they're unnoticed by the world. He rewards your sincerity even when your actions are hidden. And that's why your accountability must begin and end with Him. You see, when you live to impress people, your life becomes exhausting. You start to filter your actions through their expectations. You begin to seek praise instead of purpose. You overthink your choices because you're afraid of how others might perceive you, and in that process you begin to lose yourself, your peace, your direction, your sincerity. But when your focus shifts, when your compass points to the one who created you, everything becomes simpler. Not easier, but clearer. You begin to ask different questions. Not what will they think of me, but is this pleasing to my Lord, and not will they support this decision. But is this right in the sight of the one who will question me? This is the mindset of a heart that is free from slavery to people and fully devoted to the one who owns all hearts. And let's be honest, the crowd cannot help you in the grave. They will not stand with you when your deeds are weighed. They will not defend you when the truth is revealed. And most of them will forget you long before the day when you will need your record to speak well of you. So live for something greater, worship in secret, repent without announcement, give without expecting a thank you, serve without needing recognition. And when you're faced with a choice between pleasing people or pleasing your Creator, choose Him every single time, even if it costs you comfort, even if it costs you popularity, even if it costs you relationships, because nothing is more costly than selling your hereafter for a few moments of acceptance in this fleeting world. And remember, every soul will stand alone, your followers won't matter, your likes will not count, your image will be stripped away. And what will remain is the truth of your deeds, your intentions, your sincerity, what you did when no one was watching, but He always was. My dear brothers and sisters, there are moments in life when silence is noble, and there are moments when speech is necessary. The challenge is knowing which moment you are in, because true wisdom is not just about having knowledge, it's about knowing how and when to use it. And nowhere is that more evident than in the balance between when to speak and when to stay silent. You see, anyone can talk, words come easily, but to hold your tongue, to restrain yourself when emotions rise, when injustice stings, when your ego wants to respond, that is strength. That is discipline, that is wisdom. The tongue is light, but it is heavy in consequences. With a few words, you can bring comfort or cause pain. You can heal a heart or break it. You can uplift someone's spirit or push them further into despair. A moment of uncontrolled speech can undo years of respect, while a moment of well-timed silence can preserve dignity, peace, and honor. It is not always silence that is best, nor speech that is wrong. The wise person listens more than they speak, not out of shyness, but out of insight, because they know that silence allows space for reflection, while hasty speech often comes from pride or impulse. When you're silent, you have time to observe, to understand, to ask yourself, is what I'm about to say necessary? Is it kind? Is it true? Will it bring good? If the answer is no, then silence is your wisdom. But sometimes silence can also be a form of injustice, when truth is needed and you withhold it out of fear. When someone is being harmed and your voice could stop it. When guidance is needed and your silence allows misguidance to spread. So wisdom is not just silence, it is the balance, the art of knowing when your silence is an act of grace and when it becomes a form of neglect. Even in arguments, wisdom teaches you that not every truth must be spoken immediately. Sometimes timing matters more than content. A harsh truth said in anger can cause more harm than a gentle reminder given at the right time. And sometimes, the most powerful response is no response, especially when you're dealing with those who argue not to understand, but to provoke. In such cases, your silence is not cowardice, it is self-respect. It is spiritual maturity. It is knowing that your peace is too valuable to be sacrificed in exchange for proving a point. Look at the greatest examples in history. Those who were truly wise weren't always the ones who spoke the most. They were the ones who spoke with purpose, who remained silent when emotions flared, who answered with calmness when insulted, who waited until hearts were ready to receive the message, instead of forcing their voice into every space. And so we must ask ourselves, are we speaking to be heard or to bring benefit? Are we silent to reflect or to avoid responsibility? Are we using our words to build or to boast? Because the wise do not speak to impress, they speak to guide, to uplift, to protect. And they remain silent not because they have nothing to say, but because they know not everything must be said.